Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Hope everybody's having a good day today. Tomorrow is the official day for Blackwood to launch, and I'm prepping for this build's release tomorrow. And trying to pretty much every other day put out a new build for the month of June. So I'm hoping to get at least 15 to 17 new builds put out within the month. Which everything's going in order, so I'm kind of happy about that. I'm getting my Undaunted lock unlocked today with him, so it'll be at 9. The only thing I didn't get finalized was my Mage Guild passives, which is important to max and recovery a little bit. But for the most part, everything's been finalized with the build. I got to also transmute at least one or two pieces of jewelry. So probably one. I just need one more recovery. I like to have a little bit more recovery on my healing. So, and then, recovery for healers is where it's at. Arcane is good as well, but one infused recovery on certain configurations is good, unless you're Breton. I'll go over all that with the build, races, and how to treat the jewelry accordingly. So, yeah. And then I'll give up the updates and the adjustments for some of the builds I have out already. And except with the Mage Blade, that one will be on hold because I'm rebuilding his DPS. But I'll be coming out with the Nightblade Healer as well, and the Warden will be down. The two Wardens will be down the line, and some of the other DPS builds. So we got quite a task ahead of us within the month of June. I want to also finish my PvP build. And if I don't get the Polar Shift built live before Mid-Year Mayhem, I want to get it on probably PTS. I'll put it together on PTS just so people have the overview of how to build it. And I'll get the Polar Shift update pushed out as well. I don't like to build on PTS, but I mean, I have access to things, but I like, showing people I put in the work. Just me. And then, whatever. But there's a lot, I've only been back 3.5 months, almost 4 now, and I only had 5 tunes. Now I have 18, and I've got my work cut out for me in every essence of the word. And once I get all these PvE builds out, then we can focus on PvP. Yay! I'm looking so forward to it. I'm looking forward to it all day long, especially with a couple of people I know in real life, people I've played with in the past, coming back, hopefully getting into siege battles. I can't wait. I'll do Battlegrounds, of course. I'm a BGer all the way. But going back into siege battles, it's going to be awesome. I'll rebuild also my Sork for Siege. I don't typically like PvPing on Sork so much because it's just too cheeseball. So my Mag Sork, I've played Mag Sork quite a bit. I've made Mag tunes a long time. Nightblade Healer was my main PvPer for months, almost a year. Even when I was doing trials with my DK healer back in the day, I did PvP on the Nightblade Healer a lot because I already had everything unlocked. I wasn't really utilizing my Nightblade in trials as frequently as my DK, and so I utilized him more in PvP. So, which was great. It was awesome. But so we'll get back into some crazy play styles and reamp everything back to par. since all these changes. And I once again reintegrate this. You know, I don't like. I don't like the term meta, but if we're going to assume there's a shift or a paradigm shift in the meta, I said prior to the announcements when Flames of Ambition came out, I said we're seeing a shift to stat meta, especially with PvP when they took away procs. I'm like, this is a stat shift. It's a paradigm shift. And if it keeps in this direction, what we can anticipate moving forward are sets that are more stat associated more than proc associated. And that's a good direction for this game, I feel. I mean, I feel like it will bring diversity into what? Stat adjustments. Both on PvE and hopefully PvP, because the limiting stat sets that are available now, especially with Cyrodiil no proc, is, you know, very marginal. So to expand on stat sets is going to be very appealing for both PvEers and PvPers. So like I said, this if we're going to assume a meta, we're going to assume what? Stat meta. And I've been calling it, you know, I've been doing this a long time. Long time. I hate when new player. What is this? A new player?
Here alive. I need healing.
Burn it.
This.
Time to go.
Down there are in better shape. I'll be able to take care of the undesirables down there. I'll stay here and supervise.
What's this? More fodder for the Quama?
done yet?
Cowards, the lot of you. This mine belongs to House Selos. You are intruders and will be disciplined as such.
I hate when that happens. God, I got to put on the auto loop.
Lame. We'll have this place cleaned out in no time.
Oh, this is good stuff. Old Selos must have been raking in a fortune. So,
Yo, what's up, Dave? How you doing, my brother? How you doing? You getting ready for the launch tomorrow? Well, are you jumping on PC for the launch? I didn't know if you got it for the PC, but I imagine you're excited for the console launch. How you been doing, brother? You know, I think there's a lot of good things coming along the line, down the pipeline. I can't wait for server and performance, especially with Cyrodiil. I think it's just a really good time, man. You know, and I'm really hoping, you know, for good things. I'm excited, man, especially since one of my old guildies jumped on last night. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. You know, if we get a couple more people, we reintegrate what we've done in multiple MMOs. That's quite a bit of people, though. But if we do it, oh my God, I'm gonna be, oh my God, oh my God. You know, it's gonna be amazing. So much change, refreshing, to say the least. I like when I don't have to explain things to veteran MMOers. I actually was telling them, I'm like, so guess what? And I was going over, like, you know, how the gear sets and stuff work. And I'm like, what? You know, there's BIS in this game. And they're like, wait a minute. So they're having to do content for, like, whatever. And I'm like, well, you know, there's, these arenas. I'm trying to explain it. And they're like, okay, so these values, and I'm like, well, yeah, there's different values and diminishing returns. And they're like, okay, so where's the BIS come in? I said, well, the new mythic items, there's a couple of them that's kind of questionable. It could be a BIS related. They're like, oh, okay. Oh, and what kind of content you got to do? And I said, oh, you got to, you know, find these leads and dig it up in the open world. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. They're like, what? And they're like, okay, so what about endgame? Is there like a weekly lockouts and what? I'm like, no weekly lockouts. And they're like, what? I was like, I swear. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. They're like, so wait a minute, they can farm their entire set in less than a week. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay. I was like, right. It was awesome. It was completely refreshing. I was so happy. I hate when my DPS is doing this and I'm trying to prop everybody. But yeah, I'm like refreshing. Oh, I don't have, you know, because they were friggin' really hardcore with numbers too. When it came to, like, you know, certain things, they were like, yeah, we got to do this, we got to do that, right. It's so refreshing. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. This will be the first one out tomorrow from the gate. I'll get this out tomorrow night after I play, so it will be available tomorrow night. Because I promised, I said, you know, after the changes to the healing stuff. I was going to put this one out first. The Templar Healer will go out first. And then I'll go over like alternative sets based on trial, if you're in trial, what sets you can substitute preferably, and I'll go over, trying to chase for that new set in Blackwood for as a Templar Healer. Templar Healer, it looks so delicious. I want to put it on the Warden. I like the wind for the Warden. I don't really like it for my Templar. I don't have as many major buffs. I mean, yeah, I know Spell Power Cure procs it, Potions proc it, but unless you're Argonian, you have Reduction Timer. That set is like the uptime isn't as productive. And two healers that could really benefit from it are, of course, well, DK could too, because they can give a major buff as well to the group at all times and keep that uptime like all the time. Same thing with Nightblades and Wardens. It's like prime. It's delicious on Warden. I'm not even gonna lie.
You want me? Come and get me.
I'll go over like when to switch out for Symphony and things like that. Alright. When does Blackwood? Tomorrow for PC. I got it for PC only, level 21, no desire to play ESO. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it launches tomorrow. I have been playing Mass Effect Legacy Edition. Oh, nice. Mass Effect's really cool. Avengers also next little console called Super Console Expert. Oh, I've never heard of that one. That'll be interesting. Morning, Harold. What's up? Monster Set Symphony of Blades. Yeah, I'll go over that tomorrow. I have Symphony, but I still prefer Sentinel. But Symphony's good, especially in a trial scenario for primary tank resourcing. And rightfully so. It's just a phenomenal set. When it comes down to what it provides. And so I do like Symphony of Blades. I think it's a really, an amazing set. And of course I was going to get it. Of course, it's going to be, well, of course my eyes look. There's my skin, but I don't like skin so much. But I was like, oh, do the eyes on the Templar. Oh, okay, there you go. I like outfits. I don't like skin so much. I think it's kind of cool. Whatever, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. But, yeah, I'll go over that and everything else. Let's check my inventory and see if I can I'll scrap a little bit. Because I want to get the Undaunted finish, and we're almost there. Which Spanish Cells 1... and Vaults of Madness is the daily, so I'll queue those up, and we'll get that out of the way, because I need my Undaunted. Undaunted. We are Undaunted. So... yeah, no, I'm looking forward to a lot of things down the pipeline. I just feel like, there is going to be a very... a slight paradigm shift when it comes to ESO. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's definitely not a bad thing at all. So I think it was a good time to come back. You know, I've committed for a year to the game. It doesn't necessarily mean I'll be playing it for a year. Well, I mean, if tell you what, if my old guildies get involved, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I won't. We'll be in this thing for thick and thin. We'll be like totally like in PvP, PvE. You know, it all depends on how many people we get and how many people are interested. Like I said, if I get enough recruits and enough people. We'll start doing vet trials and some stuff. Just, for the people who want to do it. For me, it's not a whatever. I'm not really, I don't push anything. I got to go back and Dragon Star. I might actually log into Maelstrom this week sometime after all the things settle down with Blackwood. Grab maybe one or two, add to the collection. I'm still debating whether or not I want to, farm up my perfected VAT stuff. I don't know. I have the base, so perfected's kind of okay. I mean, if you want it. I don't like to provide content for players. I like to appease to the players of all skill level and who are progressing. So, no, whatever. I'm still trying to get adjusted to Stam tunes, because I just feel like that right now is really good. Also, the other vet is up. But 1 second. We'll do these ones first. I like the vet DLC. It's the new one. So. It's all about that necro healer for me. Yeah, necros are awesome. Skins and outfits depend on what I'm trying to get for my character look. Right, yeah, it's fluff. Sometimes I let the group die just to get my ultimate and bring them back. That's cool. I have it, but I feel that's a situational, ulti. In Trials, it definitely could be a very good one, especially DLCs, but I still like Barrier. I just hope the new glitches for the new docks will have min impact to the game. Well, let's hope, man. Yeah, if you're going for a look and you want fluff, yeah, I guess. I've never been a skin chaser myself. Not me. I'm a gear and motif chaser. So, do I want the gear and, do I want to farm up the motifs? Typically, I farm motifs up or, I'll trade and buy whatever. Why? Because I do master crafting. But, achievements mean nothing to me. Fluff typically means nothing to me. Typically, I get and then I grab gear to promote the builds that I'm going to release. That's it. And up until certain points, there's reasons I never went with trial DPS sets. I never did because I was aware of the scaling, and I was also aware of the 5th bonus and all of these other factors, and I said, no, I don't do that. I'd lose DPS. I don't do that. On my tanks, I worried more. Well, I never main tanked. I've only tanked one trial in this game, period. Because I mained heals in this game, which is shift, and that was mentioned. They're like, so you're still playing supportive classes, but you're healing now. They said you healed in other games. I said, yeah, to do my dailies, but I main tank. And they're like, yeah, you did. You main tanked. And I was like, right. And they're like, so you're not main tanking in this one. I said I might end up having to, depending on which direction we go with content and what we have. So which I'm comfortable with, because I always worried about mitigating effects. And of course, in this game, you do want to apply support functionality to your party. There are different sets and different configurations, but like when I come out with tank builds, I keep that in mind. Someone's like, oh, that's a selfish set. No, it applies to the bonus or to what I'm combining it with the secondary set. Like I always like pack for tanks. I always thought, I don't know who ended up originally coming out with the whole idea behind pack. I know it wasn't me. There was somebody during that time. And I was like, well, you technically don't need Alkosh on a tank because if you roll Torok's pack and there was another set, you have a supportive set, you have a mitigating effect, you have supportive sets, and these all align. And especially like off tank, I prefer other tank setups for that because during Halls of Fabrication, putting a Sork or a Blade in Master Architect with Akaveri kept 100% uptime. You could achieve 100% uptime on Warhorn, but meta players didn't realize that. And 2, you would also buff with the Major Slayer when you blow. So when somebody's like, oh, that's, selfish configuration. No, I disagree. I completely disagree. It's an off tank. It applies a Major Slayer during Warhorn. I also use a Decisive and I use Bloodspawn. So my uptime, the uptime on Warhorn is more than achievable. So, like I said, I do the little fine tuning of like calculations and stuff, And at that velocity, you only need 3 supportive classes to blow. Technically, you could get away with only 2, because what ends up happening, the healer would, you would blow, the healer would blow. By the time the healer's is up, because you've already blown the first time, yours is already up within 20 seconds. Something like that. It's crazy. So I always tell people, don't question me about the math. Please stop it. Why do you think I come out with these type of things, man? Why? It's not a fluke. It's not. And I, like I said, I maintain, so I'm aware of the mitigation systems and everything in games. I never build, I typically try to keep around 40k, between 38 and 40. So for resources and shielding system, usually. And then whatever else. And off-tank debuffing is really important, especially with that sword and board, because you can also get your heroism increasing what? Your ulti regen faster. Once again, just kind of goes over the head of a lot of players. So, whatever. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to a lot of shift changes. We'll see how it all goes down. We'll see. But I said, stat changes, man. This is a paradigm shift to what? Walk away from proc. Well, except Stam. We still are going to use proc sets, even in Mag or Stam, but it's going to do what? Shift towards stat adjustments, because what ends up happening, boosting all skills across the board versus adjusting to a proc effect in PvE is now more relevant. And then you push more DPS than the proc permits anyways. Because that duration, you can magnify all effects across the board. Then, for Stam PvP, it's going to be a little bit of a nasty, because I think ZOS really needs to address the differential between Mag and Stam when it comes to achieving value, in my opinion. Trial sets are usually start new metas, right? No, except some of these new sets are bullshit. I already said, I was like, I'd be pissed. I would besides that healing set in the new trial, if I was trial players, if I was a hardcore trial player, which I'm not, like I said, I can't take this game serious in that essence. It doesn't have a traditional progression system. I mean, it's cool. If you want to get it, whatever, I don't rag on people for that. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, those sets, especially that tank set, man, that was a bait set if I've ever seen a fucking bait set. I'm like, if you guys are dumb enough to take that as a primary tank set, you are high as fuck. You are fucking stoned and you are dumb. That was a bait set if I've ever seen it. Shame on Zenimax. Shame. Actually, no shame.
You seek to enter.
because they played this whole idea of, you know, those crit modifiers, not even realizing they're giving up the base boost. And what did they do? They nerfed what? The critical chance rate. Shame. Shame, 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 shame. And they were gonna fall for it. A couple of them were dumb enough to actually think about it. I was like, shame, 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 shame. Off balance with the lightning staff. Who would think? Right? It's crazy, yo. Why? Who wants damage in this game? What the? What are you doing? Dude, I read you. Let's go, man. Oh, they got the quest. Maybe. I don't know. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my. Fuck that. I don't care what's over there. Now hopefully if Zenimax ever... Fuck the hiding. We're gonna kill this shit. Get over it. Oh my god. I knew it. Here's a good hint for some people. Both PvE on some applications, some. A few. And PvP, farm Oblivion's Edge. I will repeat. Farm Oblivion's Edge. Do it. There's your hint. Crazy. Don't say I don't do anything for anybody. Once again, meta players, you guys are welcome too. You guys will never thank me. You'll just... Ah, get the stupid water. Wow. Why don't I use orbs? I don't know. I use regeneration. So whoever fucked up my fucking healers, God. Putting Ellie drains on Templars and shit. People need smacked. No. God dang it. For real. I wish Zos would like do something about that. Like take away like the looting when you're in combat to wait after, or I just gotta put auto loot. I swear to God. I love it when people ask why you're jumping when you're actually trying to loot. You're trying to get close enough. Same button. Whatever. Azzy. Az, you there? Can you hear me? I can see you. Talk to me. Damn it. Trying? Okay. It's not coming up. Check your mute and stuff. At least you can hear me. That's a good sign. Yup. I'm streaming, so. Be right back? Okay. Oh no. Ah, to the abyss. Oh no. Please don't fall down. No. I just hope that the new sets moving forward, a few, I mean, not all. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not anti-proc. I just feel like at the end of the day, if we get more stat sets, I think that's going to be better. It's a healthier paradigm shift moving forward, and I think that's a good thing, you know. I always fall here. Oh, I made it. Oh, the madness. Make it stop.
Rise and slay these fools.
Everybody out. Show off tank. Make me work for it, why don't you?
You should never have come here.
Oh, nice. Sick.
He's gone. He's gone. But nothing's happening.
GG.
Seems the Mad Architect's destruction did not allow us to step from this plane. Unfortunate, but with he mastered this place. Mastered the Daedra somehow. Perhaps
They're
we
like,
can
go
do
to
the
the
same.
next one. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. No. I can't, man. I know. It was a great group. Great group.
I'll figure something out. I always do.
Seem appreciated. Yo, Adolf, what's up? For trials, I just know one tank better than Yokelin. Yeah, Yokerin is great. The tanks is decent. You can do some nice things, but there are better sets, right? What would you suggest on Magden? Running currently 5 Maiden, 5 Sororia, and Dom. Don't know. You shouldn't replace Sororia with Master Architect or different setup. You trust my builds? Oh, thanks, man. Sororias were still really good, and same thing with War Maiden on a Magden. Because of those magic, it's really, really good. That's a solid setup, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I could, but no, that's a serious setup. What I'm planning on doing with my Magden
The guild has need of
is
you, comrade.
almost similar to my Mage Blade. So once again, I'm going with False. I am going with War Maiden, like that, and I am going with the friggin' Kina, but you can use Dom. The only difference of it is I don't need Nirnhone weapons. I need the Thief Mundus and I need precise weapons on my Magden. So there's a difference there because I can get, some of the passives across the board.
Right.
So that's what I'm rolling with. But that's a solid setup. Scoria, and War Maiden is a solid setup. It's insanely solid. So I wouldn't tell you, to whatever, to necessarily abandon it. But I really do like the Kina False God combo. And War Maiden on a Magden is just sweet. The only thing about it is, because I don't have the pass, because Blades get a crit passive for their ability slotted, and Magdens are slightly different. I can put a Nirnholm on my Blade, but I need the extra critical value associated with the Magden. So, then trait on trait becomes different based on race, right? So that becomes differential depending on critical value. So depending on race, I might have to go 6-1, or I can do a 5-2 with trait value, because that max magicka on Magden really is nice. So if you can get the 65, after the nerf, if you can get 62, then you can scale up your max magicka with another infused piece. So, that's what's really, really good. That's a good set, but I already have it. But speaking of, I got War Maiden sitting on this dude because I didn't have a lot of places to put stuff. I'm like, I need extra storage. Whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Let's see if that pulled us over to the top though too, with the Undaunted.
Take pride in your work, I always say.
With the turn in. Probably not. I imagine not. Which I'll have to do another one here in a couple minutes. I'll go end the stream though, and I'm gonna hook up my guilty and stuff.
Comrade,
We got a lot of things to do today, but I'll have this build tomorrow night. I told you guys I promised you guys I would have this, and I will, because my viewers, you guys mean the world to me. I will do it. So.
You do not. You have impressed. I envy your. Is the undaunted.
Where are we at? So close. It's so close. Alright. But yeah, man. Definitely, that's a really good setup, Adolf. I wouldn't even lie to you. So, but once again, I just feel really comfortable with the combos, some of the combos coming out, and the critical value is still an important factor, but I don't, let me switch tunes real quick before I end the stream, and we'll kind of, go over some of this thing, because Magden is, very important when it comes to understanding what you can accomplish within the passives and where you're lacking. And that's what I've always said. You don't want to build everybody the same. You can even put some similar configurations, but trade adjustments have to be applied as well. And if you don't utilize that properly, well, you suffer the consequences. So it's just the name of the game. Knowing what values you have to make up and where you get other values associated. And once you can do that and determine it, it becomes just another day at the office, as we would put it. Once you understand those values, it's just another day at the office. Trying to finish my latte. Can you hear me, Az? I don't know if you fixed the mic, but I bet back in the day, I always could count on Az to be my coffee buddy when we get on games. I knew she was always having a nice big cup of coffee, and I'd have my latte. Okay, wrong thing. Okay, so let's get in here. Animal companions, which I do still need to unlock, right? I'm like, wait a minute. So we get the nice recovery here, but this is where a lot of people would not understand this passive completely. Magdans usually use the bears, like the stam in some application. I prefer it because I get a bonus that's equivalent, which you could almost consider equivalent to a spell damage modifier. So for every animal companion ability slotted, my damage is increased. So it's basically a modifier towards my abilities for slotting. So I don't need the Nirnhone as much as I need. Oh, I don't need the Nirnhone as. Yeah, I saw you there. You were. Okay, I think she's here, but that's why you want to, go with the precise. So I'm gonna let you guys go. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for stopping in. I'm Mystic Raven. This is Mystic's MMOs. Have a good one, y'all.